Poindexter. I work at OPower, which, as he said, is a firm across the river. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes on what we do and why everyone wants to come work there. So this is where we started. Anyone know what that is? It's electric bill.
Power bill.
Yep. Other than finding out how much you owe. Doesn't tell you anything else particularly useful. Doesn't tell you, can you hear me without the mic?
No.
Okay. It doesn't particularly tell you anything useful. It doesn't tell you how you're doing. It just tells you really how much you owe, where you should pay. And this was really the genesis of OPower, is getting these utility bills, and the founders, Dan, who spoke earlier today, and another guy, Alex, were like, can't we do anything better? In part because energy data is really boring. Energy itself, cool. The data, boring. And what we decided that we wanted to do was engage the 300 million Americans to start in their energy consumption and how they can improve that and how they can use less energy. So let me start with a question. What would it take to get you off of your couch and to go do something to reduce the amount of energy you use? Go turn off the light, go unplug a refrigerator. What would it take?
$10.
10 bucks? iPad?
A beer.
A beer? The best answer I've ever gotten was carrot cake, but those are all kind of monetary, right, in concept. So one of our other founders, a guy named Bob Cialdini, who is a leader in behavioral science, he decided to put a little more rigor around that question, and so he asked people that, and what he did was he got a whole bunch of PhD students to run around a town called San Marcos in California in 2003, and this was right after all the blackouts. And he said, he taught them how to read meters, and gave them a lot of coffee, and then had them go to different people's homes and say, read their meter, and then put a door hanger on their door. And the first door hanger said, if you turn off your AC and you turn on your fan in the evenings, you're going to save 40 bucks. Pretty effective message, right? Someone said 10 bucks would do it. This is 4 times that. Another door hanger was, turn off your AC, turn on your fan, you're going to save the environment. You're going to make a huge difference in how much energy we use. And the last was, this was rolling blackouts, like I said, turn off the AC, turn on the fan, you're going to be a good citizen and stop these rolling blackouts. Now, which of these messages do you think was most effective?
Money.
Raise your hands. I'm going to have to count.
Money.
Okay, that's like 40% of you. Anyone think environment?
Depends on where.
Okay, 3%, or 3 of you. And then citizenship? Okay, it's more than environment. So the reality is, none of them made a bit of difference. Not one bit. It was like that no one got a drop of coffee, no one got a donut, no one had to read a meter. This whole exercise was useless. But then there was a fourth message that he put out. And that fourth message was, when surveyed, 77% of your neighbors turn off their AC and turn on their fan in the evenings. Now, that was actually a complete lie. But 6% drop in consumption. What people's neighbors do and what their understanding of society does makes a huge difference in many things. I mean, even the Gossip Girl. It makes a huge difference in what we wear, but it also makes a huge difference in how much energy we use. And that is one of the motivating concepts behind the work that we do at OPower. What we do is we harness the power of behavioral science and harness the power of normative comparisons, which is what this is, to get people to use less energy. And we are actually incredibly effective at it. I'll talk a little bit about our platform and our approach. As I said before, this behavioral science is a key component, but in addition to that, we harness utility messaging platforms and utility brands to help people save energy. We use targeted messaging, so we actually take a bunch of data about people's energy usage as well as some other data about their homes, their living situation, and we help give people the right messages at the right time to really get them to conserve. And then the other thing we do, and actually, a couple of people have asked this question, it's like, oh, so you just show me how much energy I'm using. We don't give people like the EKG ticker of oh, you're using this much this second, this much this section. We actually give you insight alongside it to really help you decide meaningful actions to take. And actually what this means for me, I'm actually, I'll say relatively new at the company, but the company is young, so everyone's relatively new. But when I started about 3 months ago, I was sitting on a plane painfully early in the morning. This guy sits next to me. He says, well, what do you do? And I say, I work at OPower, reports, utilities. And he's like, oh, I think I get one of those. I was like, really? You do? Perk up even though it's 6 o'clock in the morning. And he says, yeah, I went out back and I opened up the freezer and I realized all my wife had in it was a turkey from 2005 and rhubarb. So I unplugged it, and I think I'm saving 120 bucks a month. He's not. And actually, he said 120 bucks a year. He's not saving that much, but it doesn't matter. He's actually now taken an energy-saving action, and he'll take more and more and more, and we will save more and more energy. So, we're a huge player in the marketplace. We've saved this much. The competition has saved that little tiny gray sliver. That's the equivalent to a third of the solar energy, a third of the energy saved in the solar industry. Sorry, it's a tongue twister. Saves enough to take 40,000 cars off the road and save $35 million for consumers. According to someone who's pretty credible, it's a pretty cool place to work. There's a bunch of little details about it, but it's really great people, committed to excellence, and a really great team. We're hiring. We've hired 75 people so far. We are growing hopefully by about 50 positions this year in a variety of different roles. This is where you can find out about the jobs. And one more thing. You know, we're talking about networks and getting your friends jobs. We have hiring bonuses.
Hey.
We would have got this guy $12,000 last year, so definitely, if it's not a great fit for you, tell all your friends. It's a great opportunity to work for a really cool company.